Whether or not you're doing time, just remember, it's always a thin line.
This boss man, I'm running solo today. Teacher Will's doing his thing teaching. So today I'm going to run solo and it's Klecha time. It's time for class. Story time. Today I'm going to talk about some occasions or instances where uh, inmates slash detainees were having difficult times doing their time. And a detainee, as Teacher Willis said before, is not a person who's formally arrested. They're detained pending their immigration case. And an inmate is a person who's been arrested because I dealt with immigration and U.S. Marshals also, and also the female immigration and female marshals in the facility that I was. So today I want to break it down a little bit about how a lot of people think most officers are assholes. We don't care. Um, we just want to, we think everybody in there is bad. Yes, I've said it before. Prison is evil. Prison is evil. And it's evil because all the emotions, all the sentiments is sadness, anger. It is the pain, the anguish of being separated from your families. All of those individuals in there are going through so much pain, so much turmoil, so much anguish. Um, it's very small when there is happiness and joy. Um, and what I'm going to talk about is times where individuals would come up to me and break down. And that's why I believe God placed me there, not to be judgmental, not to be a dick or an asshole, but God placed me there because I believe He gave me an ability to talk to individuals and give them, I'm not going to say false hope because I always kept it real, but I would tell them the reality of the situation and the decisions they were going to make. I had an instance, I had a gentleman who was roughly in his late 30s, early 40s. And he was a low level immigration guy, had been here several years and got caught drunk driving, got arrested, had never been in trouble before, um, and was facing deportation. So he was lucky he didn't hit nobody or kill anybody, but his wife was close to losing the home they were renting. He had two kids, and he came to me. And normally, these individuals have to have their phone cards. Well, this guy was so depressed, he was calling his wife every day, and he went through all his phone cards. So you can purchase what they call commissary, which is all your food, your telephone cards, your toiletries once a week. So individuals have to plan on what they do. Now, it is the officer or the counselor's or the sergeant's discretion to give them a phone call. Technically, we don't have to give them a phone call. Only once every 30 days if we see that they have no money for the phone card. And that's because imagine we have 1,500 inmates in there and we give everybody a phone call. Some of these people are calling El Salvador, some of these people are calling all over the world. So this guy came up to me and breaking down, and I didn't want to talk to him in front of the other inmates. You just don't do that because you don't want other individuals to see this man having a breakdown and they think he's weak and they're going to prey on him. because he's in a vulnerable state. So I took him in the office and I said, hey, I sat him down. Of course, he was closer to the door. I was at my desk, I'm gonna say about 5, 6, 7 feet away. And I said, what's going on? What's wrong, man? I ran out of phone cards. I need to call my wife. I can't take this. He had been there 3 or 4 months. He said he can't take it no more. My wife's about to lose the house that we're renting, and we've been there so many years, and the landlord's gonna kick him out if I don't do something. So I said, look, man, go ahead, call your wife, ask her what's going on, see if she can borrow money from family. I don't know. I said, but if you give up now, you're not going to get deported for about another week or two because you still got to see the judge. And even then, you're going to go to Mexico. It's going to take you some time to come back. So you're still looking at maybe 2 weeks to a month to come back. I said, you've been here a few months. Your case should be up in about 4 to 6 months. And he's like, and that's the point. I can't take it. I can't take it. And this man, this is a grown man crying in tears, desperate, anxiety. It broke my heart, to be honest. It broke my heart to see this man, because that could be any of us. We could make a dumb decision and we could end up in the same position because of a DUI, and we're away in jail, and our families could end up losing their home. So he called his wife and he told her what I said. The officer here thinks I should fight my case, and I don't know what you're going to do. And somehow the wife told him she was getting the money for the rent, and she was going to get a job and do what they had to do. So the guy thanked me. I told him, hey, I can't give you a call every day, but you know what? If I'm back in a week, whatever, let me know and we'll see what's up. I said, but you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to buy sodas and chips, or do you want to use your money to call your wife and your family? So you're going to have to make some grown-up decisions and see what you want to do. So I got rotated out. I didn't even remember the guy, and I am going to say a good 5, 6 years later, I went into a car wash in Chula Vista, San Diego, and I'm pulling my car up to get washed. And, I have my girl with me. And this guy, I hear him in the back, about 100 yards away, Leon. No one calls me Leon except in prison. So I turned around and I'm like, oh, man. So I told my girl, hey, walk inside, go towards the cash register, and just wait for me there. If you see me fighting, just call 911. She's like, okay. So the guy comes up and he's like, Leon, how are you? And I said, I'm good. I'm sorry, I don't remember you. Oh, man, I'm so-and-so. I was in C unit, and, I was at my breaking point, and I wanted to give up and get deported, and I stuck it out, and I believed in what you said, and I had faith in God. He goes, I won my case. I was like, congratulations, man. How are you? How's everything? He's like, I'm a manager at this car wash. I said, oh, wow, that's awesome. Congratulations, man. He's like, no. Now I was going to pay. He was like, no, your money's no good here. And I said, what? You have a lifetime car wash here. As long as I'm here, I owe you, because I wanted to deport myself. And if I would have got caught coming back, he would have done federal time. It's 1 year for your first offense. And then it doubles every time you get caught. So he said, if it wasn't for you giving me that phone call that day, speaking to my wife, and getting that positive little bit of hope and you keeping it real with me, I would have gave up. And it was one of the most incredible, grateful. Um, it was such an overwhelmingly positive feeling in my soul that that story has just been with me forever. And that is why I believe God put me there to be a person who will tell them the reality of their situation, but at the same time, to allow people to think that, yeah, you did what you did, but if you give up hope now, you're going to give up everything. I have another one that is not as positive. However, I want to show you guys that I've dealt with positive and negative outside. I was at a gym in San Diego on Imperial Avenue, 24 hours. I used to go there all the time in the hood. And it's between 805 and the cemetery off of the 94. And I'm working out one day, everything's cool. And as I'm finishing, I was working out with another officer, training him, bigger officer. I go on the lockers and the officer's outside waiting for me. So as I go on the lockers, I had noticed this individual staring at us. And he comes in and I'm in my locker opening my lock and I feel someone tap me and he goes, "Hey, I know you from prison, how you were locked up with me." I said, "Nah, man, I don't think so." He goes, "Yeah, man, you were in the feds." I said, "Oh, yeah, which one?" And he's like, "Over here in no time, man. You were in the feds, man. Weren't you?" I said, "Maybe. Why? Are we cool?" And he's like, "Well, why are you working out with that officer, man? That chubby officer outside?" And I was like, "You know what, man? Yeah, I was an officer. I'm a federal bailiff now at the prison. Why? What's wrong? What do you got against the officer or me?" So he kind of looked at me like surprised. So I took off my lock from my locker and I put it on my middle finger on my right hand. And I took a step back. Here's a guy tatted up. I'm 5'9", 240, 250. Here's a guy about 6 feet tall, about the same size. And he's like, "No, we're cool, man." He goes, "I'm Chicali." Oh, there's like 30 Chicalis in there. People from Mexicali are normally known as Chicali. So I'm like, "Okay, man, I'm sorry, I don't remember you. There's a lot of Chicali that have came through." And he was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Look, man, no disrespect to you, but just like you're seeing, you see me." I said, "I saw you too. That was your wife out there with you, huh?" He's like, "Yeah," with a surprised expression. I said, "So just like you look at me, I look at you, bro. If I disrespected you, I apologize. But I just come here to work out like you, man. And I'm helping that officer get in shape, and that's it. We just want to come here, do our thing, and leave." He's like, "Nah, man, I just wanted to say what's up. You were cool, you were respectful, you know." And he's like, he stuck his hand out. I shook his hand. I said, "Cool, man. Gracias." And I was like, "Hey, talk to you soon. If you see me, just say what's up. No big deal, bro." Cool. We left. I told my homeboy what happened. My my homeboy, he never came back. But it was a situation that could have gone bad fast. That's why I always talk about officers have a switch. We can turn it up from 1 to 1,000 in a split second. It's a fight or flight mode. Now, if I would have been cocky or thinking I'm a bad dude. Wow, what's up? What's going on, bro? You got a problem? It would have gone bad. But for what? For what? There's no need. And thank God, I respected him. I seen him all the time. I seen him working out with the other gangsters in there, blasted. And I have more stories about that, you know, not an issue. He would always come by, fist pump, hey, what's up? And the crazy part, what's up, CO? I was like, hey man, please don't call me that, man. Just call me bro, dude, homie. I don't care, man. Just don't call me CO in front of everybody, man. You're putting me in a bad spot here. Oh, dispensa. But I tell those two stories because in both of those stories, Teacher Will and myself always talk about showing respect. Respect is huge in prison. Respect is huge outside. Sadly, society nowadays is lacking a lot of respect. And we're going to talk about that later in other episodes about how, these groups blocking the freeways, these groups blocking people from doing things. Well, there's no need for that. There's peaceful protesting. There's ways to be a part of something and prove your point. I was a part of this group called Mecha, the Movimiento Estudiantil Chicanos of Aztlán, when I was in college. And I was the vice president of that organization. And we incorporated whites, Asians, Mexicans, Chicanos, blacks into our group. We were the one chapter in all of Southern California that did that. And when we went to big chapter meetings, they looked at us like we were the outsiders because we were allowing all these races to be a part of us. But the thing that we kept pushing was, how do we want to educate people about our culture, but yet we don't want to be inclusive? That's kind of discriminatory, racist, if you really look at it. But we didn't care. We did what we did. And I carry that with me all the time. I always say, I'm not racist. I hate everybody the same, period. You treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. I will give anybody the shirt off my back. I've paid for military guys that I have no idea who they are for entire dinners. I've paid for law enforcement officers buying food. I've given homeless people $20, $40, $60. Why? Because I don't want to die knowing that I didn't leave a positive footprint on this world. So always remember, everyone, we're going to tell you stories, good or bad. We're going to tell you our experiences of what had happened. So on that note, always remember, always show love, always show respect, and always remember, it's always a thin line when you're making a decision. God bless. Peace.